Okay, so our tool for Module 7 is a chakra meditation, and this is where we get into a little bit more of the kind of quote-unquote new agey aspects of yoga. So I'm going to do a little bit of an introduction and then the meditation that we can follow along with. So the chakras are not a scientifically proven aspect of yoga, though they do correspond to central nerve ganglia branching from the spine. So there are these, I think, kind of interesting correlations, and we'll look at some illustrations a little bit later to see that connection. Often referred to as part of the subtle body, and all the quotes here come from this book, the Chakra Balancing Workbook. Or as portals between mind and body, or portals of energy exchange from energy inside and energy outside, and that cycle from inside and outside to inside. A spinning vortex of activity created by the presence of consciousness within the physical body. Okay, so unpack that quote for a while. The chakras are seen as energy, or prana, or chi, or subtle energy, or the life force. Whatever word you use to describe that, or maybe just that kind of mysterious essence, that part of us, or one of those parts of us that aren't easily explained or codified, or diced up and studied in science. There is tons and tons and tons of info online and a million books about the chakras, different approaches, different philosophies, different ways of looking at them, different ways of using them. I highlight a few of those things here, but again, really this is a super basic intro, and we are just beginning to tap into what the chakras are all about. We might see a lot about like chakra balancing, this idea of having different excesses and different deficiencies, and the ways in which we can bring our chakras more into alignment and balance and be better, more whole human beings, for instance. Some people talk about the chakras as a system within the body, or part of a larger system, energy system, a map of the body, has some archetypal kinds of connections. And I think one of my favorite references here from the Chakra Balancing Workbook, especially here in June for Pride Month, is your personal rainbow bridge. So we see that rainbow represented here and the different colors that correspond to each of the different chakras. So just several different illustrations here. Again, there are tons online to look at, but you can see that kind of that root chakra, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus chakra, the heart chakra, the throat chakra, the third eye chakra, and the crown chakra. So these are the seven main or major chakras. There's disagreement on how many chakras there are, and there's major and minor, but these are seen as, again, kind of like the basic seven and the corresponding areas in the body. There's also a lot of meaning attached to the chakras, so I'm not going to read through this whole thing, and again, you can find tons of information online if you're interested in playing with this. But I really like these kind of associated phrases with the chakras, especially when we look at doing meditation with them. So the root chakra being I am, is kind of a mantra that you can do as you're thinking about that root chakra. I feel for the sacral chakra. The I do for the solar plexus chakra. I love, obviously, for the heart chakra. I talk or I speak for the throat chakra, I see for the third eye chakra, and I understand for the crown chakra. You'll also see here the Sanskrit terms that are attached to each of those chakras, as well as those associations here that are a little bit on the small side to see. Very much represented in a lot of different artistic kinds of ways. There are so many really beautiful, beautiful images. All the images in this PowerPoint are straight off of Google Images, so you can find tons of different images there to meditate around or to explore on your own. Like I mentioned, the seven major chakras, and then there's also chakras in the palms, and also, we think about nerve endings, right? And so there is that kind of correspondence with our physiology, the nerve endings in the hands, and those being thought of as these energy channels through the body that connect to those seven main chakras. So I said it can get more complicated, right? And so if we just look at this map here, and all of the different pathways through the body and all of those different connections, again, really hard to see with all of that fine print here, but just to give you kind of an overall picture, literally and figuratively, of what the chakras might look like in those connections and the different aspects of the energy channels in the tradition of yoga. And then also more of the, again, kind of Western understanding of chakras as connected to the nervous system, again, to those ganglia coming off of the spine. And you can kind of see that represented here in this image. So like I mentioned, those connections to different kinds of qualities that we have. And so when we're balanced in our chakras, we are not going to be in this right-hand side of the picture here, but be more toward the ideas on the left-hand side, for instance. So if we have a lot of fear, that might be dealing with that root chakra, that base chakra. And again, you can see, fear, guilt, shame, grief, lies, illusion, and ego attachments, all really important aspects of our psychology and our mental health. And again, we can think about those and connect those with the chakra as we like. And then again, on the left-hand side here, again, seeing those kinds of positive associations with the chakras. Survival, pleasure, willpower, love, truth, insight, and this kind of cosmic energy. You can't see the whole image here because it's cut off, but I just wanted to include this because it does give us a little bit of an idea about, again, like how we might work with the chakras or think about the chakras, and also that kind of in and out kind of exchange, right? So the heart and about love, about giving love and receiving love, being able to give love and being able to receive love, for instance. The throat, like expressing myself freely, but then also we can think about that as, speaking up for others who don't have their voices recognized, for instance. So again, a lot of different ways that we can think about the chakras, the energy, relationships with them and our bodies and our minds, and again, kind of, fun stuff I hope you think to play with. And when I say play with, okay, so like how do we use the chakras? So these are ideas. They're tools like any other. You can take them or leave them. You can make them work for you. I will say that when I started practicing yoga and studying yoga and teaching yoga, I was like, the chakras, like, what is this all about? Really did not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. But over the many years and my own experience, my own yoga practice, and again, reading and different trainings and etc. I think they are very, very interesting and have a lot, they give us a lot to think about, and they give us a lot of ways to think about our own kind of self-care and our life journey, for instance. So again, I mentioned an intro. We're really just touching the surface here with the chakras. There's, again, this associated colors, the associated patterns. There's sacred sounds that go along with each of the chakras, the different qualities and characteristics attached to those, the meanings, different earth elements like water, air, or fire that are connected in with the different chakras, and different practices and activities that we can do, whether it's very specific to yoga, different yoga poses that are targeting different chakras, or different, kind of different activities and ways of connecting in with that. So we're going to do a little bit of meditation. And so meditation, again, is one way that we could use the chakras. Drawing, writing, reflecting, considering your journey through life, your challenges, your resilience. Again, take it or leave it. It's the tool. And, I like ideas. I like playing with ideas. So I hope that you'll find it to be interesting, or maybe you'll pick it up in 10 years and think, oh, maybe there's something to this. Just one final quote from that book that I mentioned. Chakras are the centers of organization for the reception, assimilation, and expression of life force energy. So again, reception, assimilation, and expression. So how we receive things, how we bring those things into our beings, and how we then express them. Again, that energy in, energy out exchange system. So in doing this chakra meditation, I just am going to keep this image here on the screen and kind of use it to help us in that meditation. So you can close your eyes, or you can continue to look at the image here, or you can open your eyes and look at the image as you need to. So we're just going to do a really short meditation, and this can be done seated, it can be done lying on your back, or it can be done standing, so however you prefer. And again, this is always one of those activities, take it or leave it. So either standing, sitting, or lying in essentially corpse pose on your mat or with your feet on your mat. We're just going to start to take a few nice deep inhales and exhales. So just breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. Just continuing that nice, stable, strong breath. And we're just going to continue that breathing, that nice, easy breathing, not forcing the breath, just letting it flow in and out as we go through this meditation. So as we continue to breathe, if we'd like to bring our hands to our thighs, to the quadriceps, and just lightly placing the hands on the quadriceps. And we're just going to breathe in here, using that connection between our hands and our legs. And we're just going to breathe and consider that root chakra, that base of our spine, that connection into the base of our body, that place that comes with stability, strength. And we're here in that root chakra and we're at peace. So we're breathing, maybe we're visualizing the color red as we're here in the root chakra. Maybe we're bringing a little bit of gratitude into the lower body, into that part of our body that we take for granted, that walks us around the world. So again, inhaling and exhaling, I am stable, strong, and at peace. You might repeat that little mantra as we breathe in your head or out loud, whatever works for you. And then when you're ready, let's just move our hands up to the belly. And just pausing there at the belly, maybe visualizing the color orange. Here in the belly, the seat of life and creativity. So maybe we can visualize that creativity that flows through us. Maybe we find that connection into the belly where we process the food that we bring in, for instance. And just breathing into that flow, again, maybe visualizing, just feeling again that connection between the hands and the belly and that sacral chakra. As we continue to breathe in through the nose, out through the nose, maybe we move our hands up to just about the base of the rib cage, and maybe we place our hands lightly on the base of our rib cage. And as we breathe here, thinking about the solar plexus, often referred to as our seat of ambition and drive, the part of us that helps us to do things. Maybe visualizing the color yellow here. Again, just breathing into that space. And as we breathe into each of these spaces, maybe just noticing, again, there's no right or wrong answers here, just noticing what we feel or noticing what images come to us. And maybe thinking about how sometimes letting go is the best thing that we can do. Again, continuing to breathe into that space and think about that 3-part breath and bringing that breath down into the rib cage, opening the rib cage and making a little bit more space for that solar plexus energy. And then as we move up to the heart chakra, maybe we bring our hands to our chest, to our heart center. Maybe we visualize the color green here. And again, breathing into that heart space. Again, that literal and figurative meanings of the heart. The giving and receiving of love. Love for ourselves, love for others, love for other people, animals, for all beings, for all life, for the earth, for the universe. Again, back to ourself, to our own heart. Maybe we can feel the vibration of the breath. Maybe we can feel the heartbeat. And again, maybe just thinking about the equal importance of giving and receiving love. Again, as we move up to the throat chakra, maybe visualizing a kind of lighter blue color. Again, if you choose to speak, feeling that vibration in the throat chakra, maybe a little hum, for instance. And just breathing in and out and thinking about the importance of our voice, of using our voice both to speak up for ourselves as well as to speak up for others. And we might think about our words and the importance of our words, and our words being like seeds, right? What do we plant with our words? What do we plant in our own minds, and what do we plant in others? Again, breathing here as we move up to the third eye, to brow center. And just breathing in, and maybe kind of light purplish, moving on from that blue into more kind of light purple. And breathing into that third eye, often seen as the seat of our intuition. You can rub the third eye, the brow center, as you breathe, or you can bring the hands together into prayer position and bring the base of the palms or the lower part of the hands to the third eye as you breathe there. And again, maybe just letting the third eye open a little bit to see what's inside of us, to see what's inside of others, to find that connection. And that openness to new ideas. Again, continuing to breathe here as we move up to the crown plexus. We move up to the top of the head, the crown of the head. That point that connects us to everything that is bigger than we are. And as we breathe into our minds and our bodies, to the top of our head, maybe imagining a white or a very light white purplish colored light that's opening up through the top of our heads and making that connection, or also receiving that light from above. And breathing here. And maybe thinking about surrendering to the highest and the best that seeks to emerge through you. Think about that connection to everything we cannot understand or cannot yet understand or will never understand. And continuing to breathe here as we let our bodies and our minds relax. And just maybe taking a moment to honor that rainbow that is us, that rainbow that is our journey through life, our bridge between the outside and the inside. And again, continuing to breathe here and using this meditation perhaps whenever you need it, whenever it helps.